What is going on, everyone? It's Super here, and welcome to another Mortal Kombat X video. And today we're going to be doing a Q&A video. It's been a while since I've done an MKX Q&A video. I just uploaded a Injustice 2 Q&A video, so if you guys want to check that out, make sure you guys do so. It's going to be linked in the description. So before we get started, as always, if I could please ask for you guys to leave a like rating on the video. It really helps out, guys, more than you know, and you guys have actually been helping out the channel a lot since December started, so I really appreciate it. So let's get started here. First question comes from Steven, and he asks, oh, by the way, before that, he also asked that when do I stream? Do I have a stream schedule or anything like that? And I wanted to address this because a lot of people ask me about streaming and all that, because I do upload stream highlights, and yes, I do stream Mortal Kombat X and whatever I feel like streaming. Sometimes I stream Overwatch, sometimes I stream Injustice, and I stream here on my YouTube channel. But I am going to start streaming on Twitch more often, just because YouTube has been broken, and I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket, even though it is fun streaming on YouTube and it helps out the channel and all that good stuff. It has a lot of benefits. That's why I stream on YouTube. But I pretty much try to stream every weekend. I haven't streamed the last 2 weeks. Last weekend because I was sick, and then a week before that I just didn't really feel like streaming. But my Twitch channel is going to be linked in the description if you guys want to check it out. Hopefully I'll be streaming, get back to streaming this weekend, which I don't know, I might have already streamed when you guys see this video. But anyways, let's get on to the actual questions. Steven asks, when do you think, or when do you see MK11 coming out? As awesome as MKX is, I'm ready for the next Mortal Kombat or Combat Pack. I feel you, Steven. I'm gonna be honest, I love MKX too, but it's been out for 2 years, and I've been playing the game for 2 years almost, and I think I know the game in and out, and I would like something fresh, and that's why Injustice is going to come into the picture, and then I'm going to have 2 NetherRealm fighting games I could play, because if you only play MKX, it will get boring. If you play other fighting games as well, which I've been testing out the waters and stuff, coming back to MKX, it feels fresh again. It feels, it feels nice taking a little break and then coming back from it. But I do feel you as far as I would like to see another Mortal Kombat game. It's not going to happen until 2019. If NetherRealm continues a cycle of put out a game, support it for 2 years, and then release a new one, we're going to be seeing Injustice 2 2017, and then we're going to be seeing Mortal Kombat 11 2019. So that's the answer to your question right there. I think MK11 will come out in 2019, depending if NetherRealm continues the trend of a fighting game every 3 years. They support the game for 2 years, sometimes only for a year, like Injustice and MK9. MKX, they supported the game for pretty much 2 years, almost 2 years. So I definitely expect Mortal Kombat 11 to come out in 2019, but we'll see. Ed Boon has already confirmed that Injustice 2 will have more DLC characters than MKX. So the roster is going to be huge. Who knows, they might support it for an extra year, so we won't see MK11 until 2020. Not sure, but my best bet is 2019. Moving on here, Alexander asks, in the next Mortal Kombat, would you like to have the variation system back? And Alexander, I actually would like to see the variation system back, because in my opinion, it gives the game more variety. I'm not sure if like the tournament players and competitive players like the variation system, because I think it's too many characters to try to learn to actually compete with. So in that aspect, it might hurt the game in the long run. But for me, as just a casual player, someone who likes to have fun with the game, having 3 variation per character is something that is really fun, because there's some characters, and I'm not saying all of them, but there are characters in the game whose variations change the way you play that character completely. There's probably more characters that have useless variations than characters that have 3 useful variations, but in my opinion, it just gives the game, it feels like there's more characters in the game that there really is. I think there's like 100 variations, because each character has 3, so that's a lot to explore. And I think it helped out at least for me, the replay value of Mortal Kombat X, just having 3 variations per character, and of course Triborg has 4. It's awesome. So I would like to see it come back in MK11. I don't think it's going to come back because NetherRealm always brings something new to the table. They really don't like bringing something back from a game, except for Injustice 2 because that's more of a legacy game. But from MK9 to MKX, the game changed a lot. Like, it's 2 separate games, and I'm sure that's going to carry over to MK11. I don't think they're going to bring the variation system back. I think they're going to bring new mechanics, and it's going to feel like a brand new Mortal Kombat game, as it should. So Boogeyman, next question comes from Boogeyman, and he asks, in which Mortal Kombat game do you think we could see Michael Myers? I definitely think MK11. If for some reason Michael Myers would end up making it in Injustice 2, which I doubt, I do think Mortal Kombat 11 is guaranteed to have Michael Myers in there. Moving on here, Craze asked any tips on learning new characters. All I can tell you, Craze, is spend a lot of time in training mode, learn the frame data from that character, and watch someone who is good with that character and see how they play and see what moves they use, and then implement that into training mode and just go online and play matches. You might start off losing a couple, but eventually you're going to figure out how to play that specific character. So that's the best tip I could give you. MLG Pro asks, do I play with precision on or off? I'm not really sure what precision is. I don't really remember the settings for MKX, but I only play with input shortcuts on, and then the other settings are off. So hope that helps. Dumb Luck asks, who's your least favorite character? Well, my least favorite character is Boraicho, just because in my opinion I think he took a roster spot from someone like Noob Saibot or Rain, so I'm salty about that. But as far as the way he plays, after I learned him, he's pretty fun to play, especially in Drunken Master, because it's one of the hardest variations in the game for sure. So I really don't have any characters that I just absolutely hate. Like Sonya, as annoying as she is, she's an OG. I love Sonya. I just really don't find her interesting to play. That's why I really haven't played her. I will end up learning how to play her. Liu Kang, again, another character who's been there since the beginning. Don't really hate him. I still think he's boring, even after I learned him, except for Duelist. Duelist is pretty fun. But him as a character, I think he's boring. So I don't really hate anyone, but as far as a roster spot, I think Boraicho would have been better left on the cutting room floor and have someone like Noob Saibot come in here and kick everyone's ass. So that's my answer to that question. Moving on here, Lou asks, how do you think NetherRealm brought... okay, let me start all over. How would you think, or what would you think, if NetherRealm brought back the stance switch and melee weapon system of combat they had in the 3D era games? I personally think it would be pretty interesting. Besides, they can't do variations again. NetherRealm likes to add new stuff, which I mentioned. Ed Boon has mentioned this many times, so definitely knows about that. How would I feel about that? Well, that is kind of like the variation system, because you have 3 stances in the 3D era games. You have 3 stances, and depending on what stance you are, you get new moves and stuff like that. So it's kind of like having the variation system in game, like having access to all 3 variations in game, which that would be pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, it would be pretty cool. Having stand switch combos would be awesome. I know they carried that into Injustice with Nightwing and stuff like that. They have stand switches. One stance has one playstyle, the other one has another one. So they definitely implemented things from the old 3D era MK games here and there. Whether I would like them to go like full on the way the combat worked with the 3 stances in MK11, it would be interesting. I'm not gonna lie. I do like the variation system, and having access to all 3 of the variations via stance switches in an actual match would be interesting. But if they're gonna do that, might as well just give the character, might as well just take out the variations and just have like the character have all his moves available. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It would be interesting though. Moving on here, let me put this. Jade asks, who has a better chance as a playable character in MK11? Jade, Sindel, Enenra, who is Smoke, the Remnant Smoke, and Ferritor. I would probably say, out of all these characters, I would probably say Ferritor would have the best chance, just because, you know, the group is a new character. I don't think they would add Ferritor and have it be a one and done deal. I think he would make it into one more Mortal Kombat game. And out of the other ones, Enenra, Sindel, and Jade, I definitely say Sindel would have the best chance of those characters. So moving on here, Ben asks, if I could join a clan in MKX, who would it be? So this question is a little hard to answer, just because he didn't really specify what he meant by clan. Did he mean like a sponsor, or did he mean just like a Mortal Kombat X team? Let's see, if I were a competitive Mortal Kombat X player, or just a competitive fighting game player that went to tournaments and all that good stuff, the brands that I would want to get sponsored by are like the bigger brands, where they could sponsor me, and I could also work as my own brand and building my own brand, while also like trying to, I guess, promote their brand as well. Because the more you work on yourself, the more attractive you are to sponsors, especially like the bigger ones. Like I'm talking about, you know, Red Bull, Monster, some of the ones that the Street Fighter players are sponsored by. That's where I would try to go if I was a NetherRealm fighting game player. I would try to build my own brand to be attractive to these like bigger brands like Monster, Red Bull, EG, Razer, all these companies that, you know, are big names in the fighting game community. That's what I would strive for if I was in the competitive scene. So if I ever do go into, you know, trying to compete, I already have, you know, my own brand and stuff. So I think I would be, if I was good enough, of course, like I'm not saying I'm good enough to be a tournament player, but if I was good enough to be a tournament player, I would definitely try to go for these bigger companies to get sponsored. And, you know, having my YouTube channel, my YouTube presence, along with my social media presence, Twitter, all that stuff, you know, I think I've done a good job of building my own brand, you could say. So I think that those are the companies I would go for, the higher end companies in the fighting game community. So, and as far as like clans for MKX, I don't think I would join any clans, just because I do like doing my own thing and working on my own brand. So hope that answers your question. All right, guys. So with that being said, that's going to be the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. What's going on, guys? It's Super here. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you guys subscribe or check out any of these videos linked at the top. Thank you, and I'll see you guys next time.